Hi guys! Today's video is going to be a little bit of a gossip sesh. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 7 companies or types of companies that I will never work with on my channel. You will never see me do a sponsorship with these companies. A couple of these actually are brands or types of brands that I have worked with in the past. When you learn better, you do better. And some of these things are things that I thought were innocuous to begin with, but I learned more things about these companies and realized that they're not really brands that I want my name attached to, and I don't want to make money off of promoting them. The beauty of being an online content creator or influencer is that you get to call the shots on your channel. And for me, that means thinking really critically about what brands I align myself with. The great thing about this job is that I don't have to take any sponsorship that I don't want to take, especially if I have moral qualms with that brand. So let me start with one brand that I actually did one sponsored video with back in 2022, BetterHelp. We've all heard of BetterHelp. We've all seen a video sponsored by BetterHelp. They sponsor seemingly everyone, and they've actually approached me to work with them again, and I have turned them down multiple times since that first sponsorship. I actually used the service myself in, I think, 2020, like before they ever approached me. I paid for it myself and I had a good experience. Typically when a company that I've been a paying customer of myself and I've had a good experience with approaches me to do a sponsored video, I don't usually have any qualms with that because I have personal experience as a customer even before the sponsored relationship started. And I was under the impression that BetterHelp really just was a service that made it easy and relatively affordable to get matched up with a therapist really quickly. That's kind of the appeal of BetterHelp. So I was under the impression that BetterHelp was just making it convenient to find a therapist quickly, and I didn't really see anything wrong with that. That was before I became aware of BetterHelp's really problematic privacy violations. So first and foremost, BetterHelp depicted a HIPAA seal on their website. A lot of their website, if you scroll down, there would be several different certification logos, one of them being HIPAA. HIPAA stands for the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, also known as the Privacy Rule. And according to the Department of Health and Human Services, the Privacy Rule establishes national standards to protect individuals' medical records and other individually identifiable health information, and applies to health plans, healthcare clearinghouses, and those healthcare providers that conduct certain healthcare transactions electronically. I would have thought that certainly a company couldn't just use the HIPAA seal at their own discretion without actually being HIPAA certified. Apparently I was wrong, because it turns out BetterHelp's practices were never actually reviewed by any sort of third party or government body to actually determine whether they were HIPAA compliant. So they were pretending to be HIPAA compliant all along. Turns out they're not. Also, according to a website called Legal Health Information Exchange, hundreds of BetterHelp's therapists were not subject to HIPAA, presumably because they did not engage in electronic standard transactions. For example, billing consumers health insurance for the services rendered. As a result, the identifiable health information of consumers who engaged with those therapists was not protected by HIPAA. So that's the first big problem with BetterHelp. It actually doesn't stop there, though. Of course, because of course it doesn't. BetterHelp also claimed that customers' email addresses and personal information were kept strictly private and that they would never be shared, sold, or disclosed to anyone. That was a flat-out lie. The FTC actually found that BetterHelp had shared over 7 million consumers' email addresses, IP addresses, and personal health questionnaire information. So when you sign up for BetterHelp, they have you answer a questionnaire, and supposedly that questionnaire is only meant to match you with a therapist. Turns out that's not the only thing BetterHelp was using that information for, because they shared that information with Facebook, Snapchat, Criteo, and Pinterest for advertising purposes. BetterHelp eventually agreed to pay $7.8 million to settle the FTC's charges, and I think users were able to receive a whopping $10 out of the settlement if they had used BetterHelp between a certain time frame. I will link below the FTC's page on BetterHelp refunds if you're interested in learning more. Even if BetterHelp has rectified those FTC complaints, this is still not a company that I would trust with my own health information, let alone would I want to promote them to my audience. So you will not see me taking another BetterHelp sponsorship on my channel. Also want to say, this is not me throwing shade at any influencers who do work with these companies. Please do not go and bully and harass these people. If you do see an influencer working with BetterHelp, I think it's perfectly acceptable to kindly let them know because they may just not be aware. I actually had a few subscribers reach out to me when I worked with BetterHelp and shared some information with me, and I really appreciate those people for kindly approaching me. That way I was able to inform myself better and do better in the future. So please don't go and be mean to people. Not that I think any of you would. Next category. I'm gonna lump 3 brands together on this one. Temu, Shein, and SheGlam. I know Temu and Shein are 2 different companies, but we're gonna lump them together because the reasons I wouldn't support or promote either of them are kind of the same. Let's start with Temu though. If I had $1 for every email Temu has sent me asking to collaborate, I wouldn't need to take any more brand deals for the rest of the year. I'd be set. No, seriously, they email, and I know it's not just me. I've heard this from other creators too. They send so many collaboration invite emails. There are so many reasons why I wouldn't partner with Temu. I think most of us are probably aware of the ethical concerns with Temu and Shein. Temu especially, I've never shopped on Temu. I actually have shopped on Shein once. Years ago, I would say, I think it was probably in 2019, I bought a swimsuit and a couple of tops from Shein. I wouldn't shop on Shein again. I actually had a decent experience with the clothes that I bought. They're definitely fast fashion though, and you can tell that they are constructed very quickly. And they're just not clothes that are built to last. And that's really the issue with fast fashion as a whole. Okay, back to Temu though. Temu is actually a relatively new platform, much newer than Shein. I think they were founded in 2022. So they're very new, but they are known for selling virtually anything you could think of and then some for extremely cheap. Temu's tagline is shop like a billionaire. So they aim to make their customers feel like they can buy whatever they want. The same way that a billionaire can just buy whatever they want whenever they want, Temu is kind of designed to make the average person feel like they can shop that way too. The problem is, well, there's a lot of problems with that. Obviously, this fuels overconsumption, to me on a level that is almost unprecedented. I mean, yes, we've been encouraged to overconsume by every company ever, but Temu is doing this in a way that is almost sinister to me. If you go on their website, it's overwhelming. The countdown timers saying, you know, this deal ends in 5 minutes. They have these like spin the wheel opportunities and referral opportunities where if you refer a certain number of people, you can get free credit, but they've actually been accused of gamifying shopping in a way that resembles online gambling, which ew, let's not do that. Like, that is so unethical to me. Temu just promotes mindless shopping on such an extreme level that I would never want to shop the website myself, let alone promote it to my audience. And the reasons I wouldn't promote or take a sponsorship with Shein or its makeup brand, SheGlam, are pretty much the same as the reasons for Temu. First of all, Shein is known for frequently ripping off independent artists and small businesses, which is so gross. They really just embody everything that is wrong with fast fashion. And I really wouldn't want to work with any fast fashion company, to be clear, but I would have to say Shein is probably the worst fast fashion company. I guess it's kind of hard to compare evils and it's not even really necessary. They're all bad, but Shein is so bad. Like I said, they embody everything that's wrong with fast fashion. They make it so easy for people to overconsume and just buy massive quantities of clothes that are not meant to be worn long term. And of course, the worst thing with fast fashion, and especially with Shein, is that they don't pay their workers a fair wage. There was one report by a Swiss advocacy group called Public Eye that found that many Shein employees were working 75-hour weeks and their average daily salary was $20 per day. But if they were found to make any mistakes on the garments they were making, their pay was docked to $14 a day. That is horrific. And I know you can argue, well, some people can't afford to shop anywhere else. Well, that doesn't excuse the massive Shein hauls that influencers who could definitely afford to shop anywhere else are churning out. I would love to see that type of content just become irrelevant. And I wanted to say, I recently had an experience. I don't know if you have any thrift stores near you that do a bag day, but we have a couple near us that do like a $5 or $7 bag day where you can go and pick up a paper bag and fill it with as many things as you want, and that bag costs $7. And my thought was, this is kind of like a more sustainable version of Shein or Temu, because you're able to buy just a shit ton of stuff for really cheap, and you're giving secondhand products a new life. I also do think it's ironic that so many thrift stores now have tons of Shein clothing, which just goes to show Shein clothing is meant to be disposable. People are not keeping and wearing those Shein clothes for multiple seasons. They're dumping them off at a thrift store when they get bored of them. That being said, you can still find much nicer clothes at thrift stores than Shein for very similar prices. And I know thrift store prices have gone up, especially at places like Goodwill. But check out your local thrift stores and consignment stores because those are often the best ones. SheGlam makeup, I know a lot of people have been sponsored by SheGlam, and I'm not saying their products are bad, I haven't tried them. Their products very well could be great, but they're under the same company as Shein, and therefore I don't want any part in that. The next company I would never work with, and I'm not sure if this company actually sponsors influencers, at least not in my niche, but Amazon. I wouldn't take a sponsorship with Amazon. I also would not be part of the Amazon affiliate program. I don't want to make any money off of Amazon. I actually made a video on why I don't promote Amazon on my channel 2 years ago at this point. I still stand by everything I said in that video. Now, once again, I do shop on Amazon, just like pretty much everybody else. I feel like it's pretty hard to avoid shopping on Amazon. It's not impossible, but like I said in my video from a long time ago, there are so many valid reasons to shop on Amazon. My issue is not we should all boycott Amazon, although it would be great if we all could do that. But there is a difference, as an influencer, in my opinion, between me personally buying things on Amazon occasionally when I can't necessarily find those things in person nearby, or it's just the cheaper option. Sometimes Amazon really just is the more affordable option, and of course, we're all going to choose the more affordable option when given the option. But there's a difference between making those choices independently of my channel and actually promoting and encouraging my audience to shop on Amazon so that I can make money. That is where I draw the line. So this is not me saying that I'm better than anybody else who shops on Amazon, because I also shop on Amazon, but I don't want any of those Bezos dollars in my pocket. The next type of product I would not take a sponsorship on is any product classified as a supplement. This is another one where I actually have in the past worked with a supplement company, Ritual. Don't get me wrong, I actually really enjoy Ritual vitamins, and I do think they're probably a good option, but I'm just not the person to ask about whether a vitamin company is worth checking out. I really think that people should get that information from their healthcare provider and not an influencer, because I don't have a background in healthcare. I am not the person to be telling you what supplements you should and shouldn't be taking. That is between you and your healthcare provider. The reason I would not work with a supplement company, again, is because supplement companies are not regulated by the FDA, and that's actually really scary when you think about it, because people treat supplements like pharmaceuticals, but they're actually not regulated like pharmaceuticals at all. Supplements have been found to contain completely different amounts of the ingredients than they say they do. They've been found to be contaminated with heavy metals. I think it's something we all need to be really careful about. I'm going to link below an article from an OBGYN, Dr. Jen Gunter, who I think you should all go follow on Instagram. I love her content. She just breaks down a lot of the myths surrounding women's health and just healthcare in general. And she's done some really eye-opening blog posts on supplements and how to research supplements and know which ones are safe to take. I think, again, this is something that should be between you and your healthcare provider. Going back to Ritual vitamins, they actually are third-party tested. So I personally do feel safe taking Ritual vitamins, but that still doesn't matter because Ritual is still an unregulated supplement company, just like all the other ones. And so I don't feel comfortable giving out advice on what supplements you should take. That is not my job, okay? Number 6, another type of product you will not see me do a sponsorship with, is any kind of non-evidence-based hair growth product, whether it be a serum, an oil, a supplement. That would fall under the supplement category too. There are so many hair growth gummy companies that have reached out to me. I ignore them every single time because I don't want to work with you, okay? I don't like the way these brands prey on people's insecurities. Hair loss can be a very emotionally distressing thing to go through, and to market something that has virtually no evidence behind it Oftentimes these things are really expensive too. These serums, these supplements, people can spend so much money on these things. And I know that people have anecdotally had good experiences with biotin supplements, hair, skin, and nail supplements, Vegamore hair growth serum, those kinds of things. But again, those results are purely anecdotal. And as far as I'm aware, there have been no reliable peer-reviewed studies that have shown those products to actually reverse hair loss. The last type of company you will not see me take a sponsorship with on this channel is any alcohol company. I know there are some popular wine subscription services that I've seen influencers work with. Any alcohol company is not one that I would feel comfortable promoting. And the main reason I would feel icky about it is just because alcohol is an objectively harmful substance. And once again, I'm not judging anybody who drinks. I, in the past, have enjoyed drinking in moderation. I actually recently made the decision to just quit drinking altogether because I was just starting to notice that alcohol just really throws off my equilibrium. I mean, it makes sense because it is a depressant, but I would find that after the initial, feeling good window of time, my mood would drop really dramatically. I would feel depressed, even if I only had 1 or 2 drinks. I would feel really depressed, really dysphoric for 1 or 2 days after drinking. And I've never been a big drinker, but I just don't like the way alcohol makes me feel. So because of that, it just wouldn't make sense for me to do a sponsorship with an alcohol company because I don't drink myself, so that would be weird. But even if I did still drink, I still wouldn't feel morally right about promoting an alcohol company just because alcohol is an addictive substance and so many people struggle with it that I would never want to be the person that's encouraging someone to drink. I have a choice whether or not I would encourage alcohol consumption on my channel, and I think it's a pretty easy choice for me. So as it stands right now, those are the 7 companies/categories of companies that I would not take a sponsorship with. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on any of these things. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me on any of these companies? And a huge shout out to my patrons and channel members for supporting my channel. You guys actually make it possible for me to be really choosy about what sponsorships I take on my channel. So I really appreciate you all. If you're interested in joining the Patreon or channel membership, I upload an extra vlog and makeup video every month over there. So I'd love to have you join. Both of those will be linked down below. But anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye!